A social experiment. People want or expect to be led. This is a photograph of a display at the Science Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Note the sign on the canopy. Attention, please walk on the black squares only. The display at the end of row of tiles states, if you are like the majority of people, you would have read this sign and then complied by stepping on the black squares only. Why is this? The next section of slides are titled Directing the Sale. Socially, people want or expect to be led, especially if they feel the conditions are in their favor, that the person leading is acting in their best interests, and they are being treated with dignity, respect, and professionalism. Is it possible for you to direct the sale, or in other words, influence the outcome? How do you accomplish this? Under what conditions or circumstances would a customer or prospect permit you to do this? Or in other words, what frame of mind would they need to have? How do you help establish this frame of mind? Is it possible for you to direct the sale, or in other words, influence the outcome? How do you accomplish this? Yes, it is very possible. Build customer confidence, build rapport, gain their trust and earn the right, be professional and credible. Under what conditions or circumstances would a customer or prospect permit you to do this? Or in other words, what frame of mind would they need to have? How do you help establish this frame of mind? The customer must feel confident in your abilities and expertise. Assess their needs by qualifying them with quality questions and then listen to their responses. Gain a clear understanding of what they are attempting to accomplish. Use paraphrasing, clarifying, and confirming questions. What is suggestive selling? Where do we encounter examples of this on almost a daily basis? Does suggestive selling work? What are some suggestions for applying suggestive selling techniques in your sales role? How does suggestive selling benefit the customer? What is suggestive selling? Suggestive selling is subtly, in a soft manner, hinting towards the use or purchase of a product or service. Where do we encounter examples of this on almost a daily basis? We see examples of this daily in fast food restaurants or in advertising. Does suggestive selling work? Absolutely it works. What are some suggestions for applying suggestive selling techniques into your sales role? Think about products or services that are linked to each other, just like burgers go with fries, paintbrushes and rollers go with paint. Any opportunity that presents itself where there is a connection between the products, services, or even the ideas being discussed or presented. How does suggestive selling benefit the customer? Your efforts may cover off important points that the customer may have failed to consider, therefore saving them time and aggravation. Or in other words, there are possibly materials or secondary items that they are not focused on or haven't thought of, and by planting the seed, you help them. In order to create more opportunities for suggestive selling, you should consistently employ proven questions and/or phrases. Here are some examples. Are you open to considering another alternative? May I provide some expert advice based on my experience? If I could save you time, money, or aggravation, would you be interested? If yes to any of these questions, then use one of the statements on the following slide. May I suggest? Have you thought about? Would you consider? Here's an idea or thought. Would you like to? Another one of my customers did this. I have an excellent idea for you. To save time or money, you may want to try this. A more convenient or easier way of doing what you want to is, I have a perfect suggestion, solution, or tool for this problem. Why is upselling important to the company? How does upselling potentially benefit the customer? What is unique about an individual that consistently upsells customers versus someone who doesn't? Upselling is often a form of suggestive selling. The difference, however, is that the customer has already decided to make a purchase, and your goal in upselling is to convince them to make an additional commitment. Why is upselling important to the company? When the sales force consistently applies upselling techniques over the course of a year, it adds up to huge additional revenues. These compounded revenues have the power to make the company much more profitable, ensuring its financial health and your future. How does upselling potentially benefit the customer? Often by moving to a better quality or premium product or service, over the long term, the customer is going to be happier with their choice. They will likely receive a better value, greater reliability, and overall satisfaction with their choice. If they are reselling or installing the item to another customer, the performance of the merchandise will be better for the reputation. What is unique about an individual that consistently upsells customers versus someone who doesn't? Better product knowledge, greater overall confidence, enjoy the challenge of selling, educate their customers, know how to position and compare the customer choices. According to Dan Kennedy, 20% of people will immediately agree to an upsell when it is offered and makes sense. That's right, 1 out of 5 will immediately agree. With this knowledge in mind, doesn't it make sense that this should become common practice for you? What would this mean in terms of additional income for you? Learning Spotlight number 3. It's time to review what we've covered so far. Each question in the quiz has a 90-second time limit, and the quiz has a 15-minute time limit. You cannot pause the quiz once you begin. The quiz includes many types of questions, including true or false, drag and drop, multiple answers, etc. Read the questions carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked before submitting your response. Many of the questions or variations of them will be included in the final exam. You will be graded, and the passing grade for the quiz is 70%. You will have 3 chances to attain a passing grade. If you fail to attain a passing grade after 3 attempts, you will be locked out of the course. You will have an opportunity to review the quiz responses upon successful completion. If you wish to review the previous slides and sections, do so before advancing. Upon completion of the quiz, please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance to the next step in the learning path. This concludes step number 6 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.